I'm sorry.
I get a bad feeling when... Nothing's going wrong. Don't our learned physician... have a name for that?
I believe it's called Forge.
Jesus Christ. Dyed broadcloth, beautiful colors, striped fabrics.
Come and take your pick.
Strong, well-made pot. Today's a scorcher. Don't be shy. Are you in need of something?
The finest wares, quality goods. A fine day for some fine wares. Honey pie. Needles, thread,
What? What are you doing here?
quality goods. The finest wares.
Dyed broadcloth, beautiful colors, striped fabrics.
Did you hear? The Dirk Stallion is shady now as old.
Dude!
Round and thin. Come and buy some new plates.
Buy 2 pots.
Fine day.
Take your pick.
Fine wares. Best colours and take your pick. Come and take a look.
Hope you find what you're looking
God bless, and with you.
Come and get some wonderful horseradish.
Don't be coy. Jugs
wares
here,
will
big
bring
and
you
small.
joy.
Jugs for sale. Fair prices.
The finest wares, quality goods.
Embroidery, silk embroidery, ribbons of all colours.
Fine wares here. Strong box. Inexpensive but high quality.
Excuse me.
I know who killed those poor girls. It was...
Right. Did he beat them to death with a cat? Lumir sent you here to play a prank on him.
No, I'm serious.
I don't even want to believe you're serious. Would you...
Hey, God, they called them...
Damn, that's a bit above my... If... Do you want me to arrest you? Leave that door be.
Come and take your pick.
It happens. Just watch where you're going.
Thin flatbread, the finest wares, quality goods.
God bless.
Needles, thread, pins, silk thread.
What? Huh?
Bollocks, a misunderstanding. You made a fool of yourself, more like.
So what am I supposed to do then?
You should go and see the priest. Nobody else can help you.
Oh, aye, the priest. How could I have forgotten about him? Maybe because I don't think he'll be able to solve my problem.
Heartfelt prayer saved entire masses
Christ.
of Jews and Jonah from the whale. Don't tell me you can't help it.
It happens. Just watch where you're going.
Or I'll end up
I'm sorry.
heaven by myself. And on this shelf.
All right, I will, but I've got to go now. If my wife saw us, I'd be in deep shit.
All right. How about a kiss farewell?
Are you serious? What about my marriage vows? If the Lord saw us...
All right. Take care then.
God be with you. A fine day for some fun. How can I help you?
I'll have a look.
Nothing to your liking, sir? Muslin, Barchett, the strongest Barchett from Kashov.
You have a kind master.
Come and buy some new plates. Come closer and take a...
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Why on earth do you read so...
Greeting. A fine day.
Ah, well, that explains it. Get out of here and have a proper wash. I can hardly breathe in here.
I apologise.
All right. God be with you.
Thank you, sir.
Take your pick.
The finest mugs!
What do you need?
Nick, what would you like, Fred?
I hear one Franta cooldown is supposed to come and pick up new clothes from.
Aye, the finest. I spent the best part of 2, but it was worth it. With clothes like that...
As it happens, you hit the nail on the head. Franta asked me to pick up those clothes for him. He gave me a certificate. See? It's got his name on it.
I was hoping he'd try them on one last time before final adjustments. But, very well then.
I need...
Buy 2. I've got lots. Have them all as well. Sound as the bell. The apples, yellow and red.
Die, Broadway! Excellent!
Come and take your pick.
Tools! Quality tools!
Finest.
Let's talk about the...
Sure.
How's this?
You won't convince... Fine. Glad you found what you were looking for, sir.
Are you whistling just for fun?
Come and take a gander. We've got it all.
Easy, good horse.
Just for sale.
Franta Cooldown sent me. I'm to stand in for him at the council assembly.
Franta's not coming? What's wrong with him?
He got as drunk as a lord. Totally pie-faced. Then he fell into a ditch, and now he's staggering around the streets, God knows where.
I might have expected. Once, he turned up with a hangover, and as soon as he smelt wine, he threw up all over the chapel door. I told him if that ever happened again, he was for the boot. Oh, well, you'll have to take his place for today. I've no time to find someone else. We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on. So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. There is.
Everything's in order. You've got a waiter's cap. A tunic you have. Hose are good. You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber, along with your other stuff. You won't be needing it anyway. You don't want to be dragging a load if you're running around tables. Everything as it should be. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
I'm no greenhorn. I have plenty of experience.
Oh, but allow me to give you one. Sir Adam of Zarjitz will be among the guests. Don't pour wine for him. Otherwise he'll get drunk and disgrace us all in front of the king. And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from. Understood?
Absolutely. I'm a waiter, after all. Not some street gossip monger.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social ladder. Not just anyone can serve the King of Hungary, but you'll manage it, right?
Can you tell me once more what I have to do?
Are you soft in the head? You stand in a corner, keep your mouth shut, and when someone orders wine, you go and serve them. Don't pour for Adam of Zarjitz, because he can't hold his booze. Red monastery wine, White Tokai by the door to the chapel. Got it?
I know everything.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
There are the pictures of wine.
Current Waffen-Arsenal
Hopefully
is
I
a
won't
joke.
splash
And
anyone's
on top
shoes.
of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
Boy, I'd like some
What
white.
are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher. Hand cannon. Can you believe it?
Boy,
Where did they
are
get
you
them?
deaf or something?
You're
White.
the one who should know
White.
where they got them. Since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the
Are you
city
deaf or
garrison.
something? Why?
And Herr König surely knows this too.
I apologize, sir.
What is it, Eldris?
Tokai.
You smell a
White.
deal?
Are you deaf?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down,
Sir?
and you want to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
Thank you,
And
waiter.
who is it you want to fight? Exactly. The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment.
Waiter,
What if he
get
heard
me
you?
white.
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
Sir?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies.
Well,
Nicht
thank
wahr?
the
We
Lord.
are more than familiar with the yeomanly state of our armory. And the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes.
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation
Francis
for
of
war.
Tokai, refill
So
wine.
you suggest we just wait with
apologize,
arms
sir.
crossed for the Raubritter
Which wine?
to
White
wreak havoc
Tokai.
all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and
Sir?
see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind.
Thank the Lord.
Vielleicht.
I'd like to report to the Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or
Hey,
brothels?
youngster! Some red!
Isn't it the same thing?
So, the cleanliness of the city is
Sorry,
not
sir.
what it should be.
Orders from above.
Current
Do you
baths
see
in the
that?
city fall far
Even the
short
waiter is
of
having a
covering
laugh at
his
us.
needs.
You're right, Jerome. But a woman named Betty has showed up on Hopbrink and wants to repair the baths that
Is
used to
everything
be
all right?
there.
No.
She's a protege
There's
of
nothing to
Maresh.
do about it.
Her
Come
efforts
closer.
are commendable, but I don't think she will succeed. It takes a firm hand, not soft, feminine fingers.
A moment ago.
I need something from. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
So what? Going to the baths is neither a civic duty nor a right. Have you
I can't. I'm supposed to serve the lords.
You're supposed to do what you're told. But suit yourself. I'll go and get it myself after the assembly.
baths unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there?
Keeping the city clean is important, but we don't have money to spare. Arguing about who is going to wash where and
How?
Tokai,
It's a waste
and a
of
full
time.
cut.
It's only a waste of time because we're always arguing about the same thing.
Not at all. If
I
you
apologise,
finally
sir.
admit that it's a trifle,
Which way?
we wouldn't have
Right.
to keep coming
Tokai.
back to it.
A trifle? Do you ever walk the streets here? Sewage, rats, slop, and rubbish.
Sir?
The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense! Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nas's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old...
will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us with his visit. And as we know, Gunslin absolutely hates him.
Waiter!
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well,
I apologise, sir. Which way?
Right! And quick!
You know full well, everybody knows, he wiped the floor with you.
Compose yourself, Adam, and stop drinking. The king might come any time now.
That's right. Let's not burden the anointed monarch with such...
Me? Compose myself?
Good, sir.
Me? I beg your pardon.
thank the Lord.
I demand that you...
Ruhe! Franz, please continue.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Oh, that. Just a small misunderstanding.
Tokai,
We've sorted it out and
come.
everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard,
apologise, sir.
then we have a good reason to
way?
punish him.
Tokai!
What happened there?
That's the one.
Leave nothing out.
I don't like Rutard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause
sir.
any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself
Thank you, waiter.
while the king is here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first. God knows what he wants to tell us.
If nothing
Hey,
happened,
waiter,
there's
pour
no
me some
point
to-
dwelling on it. Let's move on.
I'm sorry, Andreas, but I wouldn't brush it off so quickly. Why do I have the feeling you're not telling us the whole truth, Ulrich?
Are you accusing me of lying?
Sir?
Those are strong words, my friend. Nobody said
Well, thank
anything
the
like
Lord.
that, did they?
Then why doesn't he tell us what really happened, hmm?
I'm not keeping anything from you, but there's little truth to the rumors circulating around the town. Yes, Ruthard and I had a little disagreement, but we ended it quickly because his daughter wanted to get involved. I didn't want to expose the girl to any unpleasant sights.
So Ruthard is hiding behind his own daughter's skirts.
As if it wasn't enough that he sent his son to die defending the city.
All right.
Careful.
If you really don't have anything new to say, let's turn the page.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want. I suspect the gentleman from the city's sword fighting school brought this custom to us. That
Hey, boy, a full cup of monastery wine.
Looking for trouble.
Don't be ridiculous, Forsucker. You act like you've never been in a fight yourself. And to accuse a swordsmaster without a shred of proof.
Come now,
We're not
waiter,
some old
I
fishwives
wanted
on the
red.
mountains.
So you will just leave it be?
Proven offences are punished by the bailiff, and that's that. There are more pressing matters to deal with.
More pressing than the open contempt of the whole town
around me.
garrison.
Vanish,
The guards
you hear
are
me?
apparently settling accounts their own way. We'll soon be the laughing stock of the whole town.
You can rest assured the whole town is already laughing at us all day long. So what if they have one more reason?
Everything in order?
My words exactly.
But I think
The
you
town
might be able to
council
help
is
me. Come
squabbling
here.
constantly at the Emperor Charles, and no one is left unscathed.
And you, a councillor,
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear...
Why waste our time?
All right.
I knew I... While you... Because I'm bored.
That was easy enough. And he wanted me to count the winged figures.
So, let's see what...
I found you.
Really? And did you count those winged figures?
I counted 24, sir.
And you counted correct. Good. Here you are, so you can have a bit of fun in the evening too, eh?
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers. Right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to work a oil mining city.
You there,
Why can't we build faster?
A cup of bread.
Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Skimp on me.
Because those so-called craftsmen are a band of parasites. You pay them, they come late, or report sick.
Monastery wine.
And if they do
Here.
come, their work is shit,
Sorry?
and you have to pay someone else to put it right. It's
About
a
time.
waste of time. I tell you, a waste of time.
Adam, don't interrupt the proceedings with your drunken ranting, even if you are in the right. And as for you, Henry,
Waiter,
haven't you
pour me
noticed
red
there's
wine.
a war going on? Are the experts from far off supposed to work in a city under siege?
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Waiter, I wanted monastery wine.
What would that be?
Sir?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own altar
Good.
there?
Now run
So
along.
what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen. That space in the side nave is mine.
When hell freezes over, my friend, your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me?
Hey, boy,
Ah,
a full
I
cup of
think
monastery
not.
wine.
Excuse me? You wanted to buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services our
now,
guild
waiter.
provided
I wanted red.
and still provides to the
Sir?
crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to the
Thank
army.
you, waiter.
If that's all they have, they would be defeated by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Obrink.
What ne'er-do-wells?
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because it has all been sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
I'm telling you, something is being planned. Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Azonal Gyurcsák össze, a legjobb katonákat, és kelkinek útra!
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this plan of false!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujitz parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they keep him. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them.
I wouldn't be too sure. But who's that French fellow?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
What do you plan to do?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
How does it...
What can I say?
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life, wine, women...
Dear me. I'd rather creep up, but I suppose I'll have to introduce myself.
Indeed you should. In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here.
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Kuttenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you here to arrange some...
We have more serious matter. The situation. You have men and weapons.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to...
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just...
Did you come to lend money to the Lord?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzig Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
Or maybe you'll get to know each other. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the...
Wait, A blacksmith, you say? From Scarlet's?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzig Kobyla, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink.
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Good health.
L'chaim.
Everything...
I can't wait for it to end.
Would you...
What can I tell? It was never exact.
Surely...
There are many...
I reckon you...
Oh, pretty pit. We will leave us soon anyway.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin, a friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry.
Baron Vauclin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word.
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
Ah, and only lost it never...
That needs some explanation.
Oh, misère. It is clear you...
You're quite mistaken, monsieur.
Ah, this Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhands, children, and even women fighting. But the clergy? Sainte Mère, do tell me about it. No doubt...
My last big battle was in Kosovo.
I've heard of this battle. Many great men fell there.
Aye. And it was there I decided it was nothing for me. So I settled down in the presbytery in Ujits.
Then, what are you doing here, at a meeting of opponents of the crown?
Ah, the Lord moves in mysterious ways. You say you're...
Jamais! Is poetry nothing but a fuss? I think not! To recite a
Where have you been?
But of course! If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then that was perhaps saving the life of the King of France.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
How come almost nobody here knows?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my reputation, slowly, but surely.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That horse son won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
I'm not going to die.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John.
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be...
Is that so?
Indeed. And that...
As it happens.
Excellent. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain...
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones...
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
If Sigismund decides to mount an attack on the camp,
Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
I'll help you. What exactly?
I'll give you 3 names. Bocek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, meanwhile...
Tell me about...
Certainly.
Bocek of Kunstadt.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates. He doesn't play the big game. Because he doesn't like to. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not...
Alder the...
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his day's in, but he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers.
Anna of
Wenzel Bartosz. And
I was quite surprised to see her here.
A male affair? So far, Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost for Sig.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money, of course.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her, and that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
What if it doesn't?
I refuse to even consider that.
Success.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Ha! Even better. But you won't believe it until you see...
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them.
Well. You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without by your leave. Or to arrest my...
I want to have a word with Alder.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up.
We'll talk later and in private. Right?
Don't try much.
Why so strict?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face?
I wouldn't say how. You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other for.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Ha!
And you might...
Well,
I wanted to...
You want... I want to... Well...
I'll talk to you later, Father.
You're in my home.
Is that your...
I'd like to check...
And you might...
Well.
You want... I want to...
Well...
Is that...
I came with a delegation from Sir...
Why so strict?
20 years I own, and then... But he tried... You have...
You're...
Me? You're home.
Oh, but maybe you ought to...
Dishonor...
I can't dishonor someone...
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults.
I'm not happy. This isn't how I...
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back! Did they teach you that in the seminary?
Look in my eyes, not at my sword.
Who taught you that?
With your whole arm, not just your wrist.
Not bad for a priest.
What's wrong with your legs?
You're fast.
Stand firm.
They teach you that in the seminary?
Strike will put you on your arse.
They'll beat you.
Cover your right side. When I get there, I can drive a car through.
Enough. That will do.
Good day.
And with you? My God. Why did Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer? But you could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Why? Well,
so Father would be satisfied. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder.
I've got to get him on our side, and
aren't we all on the same?
Maybe everyone's saying that. But
after your encounter with Father, it won't be. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want.
What else can I do?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me.
All right, then. You've heard. It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after. Leave Alder to me. The plan's
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
Mind where you're going.
Godwin, we didn't have much time for conversation on the way.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens. What are you expecting from...
Well, I have no... But, all going well, as long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very unlikely to achieve any progress.
I couldn't help but notice your son has...
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, he undoubtedly contributed. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God...
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path.
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad, even though Henry chose a different path than he.
May God grant...
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with child. No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, doesn't matter who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be. May I...
You? Anytime. With you, at least, unlike this pack of conceited And they think that can...
Surely they're not old like that.
Allies or not, someone ought to...
Young Lord Capon is finally free.
He got a harsh lesson. But at least he might remember to lay off that tomfoolery of his for a while. But if not, war will make a man of him soon enough.
Do you think there's really going to be a war?
I sincerely hope so. Whoever sits around risks nothing. It's time to get off our ass.
What do you think?
Are you testing me? Jobst called this assembly and he wants things to turn out...
To turn out well for who? Some are up to their elbows in silver and blood, so others can live in freedom.
Better make...
Burgers, patricians and usurers. They're without honor.
We're trying to forge an alliance against our common enemy.
Sir Wojciech, I need to speak...
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Jobst comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me over for him.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms? If not, you can go...
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund.
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
How about...
He's a youngster.
He may be young. He's got battle experience. And when he gets the estate that's his by right, he'll be well secured for life.
If he gets it. Right now, Hanush lords over it. On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on, despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
So?
You're selling this first. I want a confirmation that the wedding will take...
And what if Lord...
I don't care what the young lord thinks. If he agrees, I'll be happy.
Pushing a friend...
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice.
The service is kind of slow today.
Luck is on my side, it seems. We'll see whose side luck is on today. One beer.
God bless you, sir.
Greetings. God bless.
Jesus Christ be praised. Taking their time again. A tankard of ale, thanks.
Well, that's no worry, boss. You didn't have much anyway.
You...
Oh, these I'd be happier if they just...
But then you'd miss all the... It seems Liechtenstein's looking for allies.
And how's he going to do it? Didn't you see them all fighting?
Well, different approaches.
The only approach that'll work with Sigismund is open resistance.
Once every 3 days. A lot of people think the wealthy burghers will weather out of fear.
Well, that's to be expected. As long as Sigismund has the city council under...
Well, at least there's a few individuals here.
Sigismund confiscated his castle and half his estates. That'd be enough. Not to mention that his son was killed in the siege of the city.
Let's hope young Lord Capon manages to stay free.
That's one thing you can always count on him for. I'll gladly wager with you he'll end up in some other shit by evening.
God forbid.
In that case, it'll be up to you. I'm sure you wouldn't leave him to disgrace himself.
How are you getting?
Aside.
I'd almost forgotten about that little... Keep it up. Just don't over...
Take a look at that. A nut.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy...
You do?
I've gained...
And who is it? I hope it's not one of...
On the contrary, it's Bocek, the Elder of Kunstadt and Podjebra.
Kunstadt? By Christ, how the hell did you...
Well,
Mutual?
He's got a pretty serious...
Stop beating around the...
Lord Kunstadt has a niece, so... I arranged a betrothal for young Lord Capon, with your blessing if you agree.
Hans Capon is to marry Yitka of Kunstadt. Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the Abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
Cheers!
Cheers to you! And to your parleying skills!
That's exactly why we...
Sir Bocek, your niece Yitka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstad.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord King.
Here's to a good bargain.
Bottoms up.
Christ almighty.
I've got some good news.
The bad news is there's hardly any females in this whole damn... There's some old bat standing there with 2 young girls, but she watches over them like a mother hen. So at least tell me the good news.
Actually...
At least the wine here is decent. Cheers!
To your help. Sir Kun...
You're Godwin, aren't you?
Oh dear.
Have no fear. I know Martin well, and I know he's prone to exaggeration.
Will you support Mark?
That depends on what it is. If he decides to just wait, then no.
Do you think we should look for help?
I came here for one reason alone. If Jobst...
I expect you know Lady Anna.
Why wouldn't I? She's joined at the hip with my daughter Rosa.
I hope she doesn't feel unwelcome here. I've heard she's a bit of a thorn in the side for some of the gents here.
To her own relatives, certainly. But I'll tell you one thing. I knew her husband, Wenzel, and I cared for him devotedly till the day he died. And it wasn't a quick death.
So it's not true what they say?
Vile slander. People just can't forgive her for coming into a fortune as a young widow.
What do you think of the rabbi's offer? The Kuttenberg Jewish community is large, and their support could change everything.
Or nothing.
He said he was interested in an...
Aye, but still he must be aware that what...
So you don't trust him?
And isn't it natural? It's not just faith in the walls of their quarter. They live in our city. But they're more foreign than the Germans or the Hungarians. God be with you.
Look out!
Your great...
Certainly.
Godwin.
Ah, now I remember. Forgive me, there are many...
And what can I get for you?
It still hurts.
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Job's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
Hit the nail on the head again, Mom.
I am rarely mistaken.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine.
Then you were in the right place.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. So, to the point. What?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty.
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on 2 fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason.
Do you have something in particular in...
Well, one of the guests here has something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Haman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support your proposal.
I'm supposed to rob...
Haman Alder was given the documents to deliver to the council. He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them, so he won't even notice the difference.
Have you fallen out with the town councillor?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives they're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband, and the fact that I'm handling his estates makes their hair stand on...
And these papers I'm supposed to switch?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain undesirable parties.
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest easier.
And the papers I'm supposed to...
Just insignificant documents.
All right, I'll help you.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these... But watch yourself. Odorin's groom has eyes.
Take a look at that. A
What brings you here? What brings you? You've no business here. That's it. Go now. What are you sneaking around here for, you crook? I must be... Huh? Are you kidding? Stop that!
Never mind. Strange.
Yeah. Real funny.
What are you trying to pull, you scoundrel?
Stop fooling around with those stones.
Are you 5 years old? Stop that!
What's that? I heard something. Huh? Clear off and don't bother me. Hey, you! What are you doing here? No.
I'm waiting here.
Oh.
I've been watching you for a while, and I have a feeling you do well to talk a little.
Who in God...
In God's name, indeed. I'm a priest, and I know a wretched sinner when I see...
Is it that obvious?
Christ. Don't blaspheme. It'll help you more to confess.
And in the morning, when I met him, I swore I never laid eyes on his daughter, even though my back was scratched raw from our roll in the hay.
That's a mortal sin. Lying with a woman that you're not joined with in holy matrimony. And then lying about it too. That's already 2 commandments broken for the price of 1.
I'll go to hell for that, won't I?
You won't. As long as you repent. Be contrite, fast and pray. 10 Our Fathers.
I'll start right away.
I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
Lady, with all the clamor going on here, I can hardly hear my own thoughts. Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you, noble lady. God will...
Yes, quite. But let's drink to...
How could I refuse a toast with such a fine lady?
And to the success of...
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion.
Is this supposed to be yours?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you...
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bojek of Kunstad will support our cause.
Both of them. Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords?
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord, but we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes. And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the Balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslas, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wencesla's side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rabble get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants! Chicken shits! Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
And drunks! Give them hell! Lazy fools, the lot of them.
How dare you?
Some of you are even swelling right here in the city council meeting. This is unbelievable.
Remove this swill pot from the hall immediately.
I'm telling the truth. This whole council is a farce. The whole city knows it.
Lord of Sargitz, your insolence just cost you your place on the council and a month in the dungeon.
But...
Hopefully that'll be enough for him to sober up. And if not, put him in the pillory for a while, bailiff.
I'll see to it as soon as the council is over, Your Majesty.
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore place the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become, and we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you were harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had defeated him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sir.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities. And get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Margaret. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in the land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working. While the council was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Rabosch. Alderin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Oderin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosch will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Rabosch falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell you...
To
today's, and those of the future.
You lose something here in the day? Give me 100 knights in full armor. I will clear my name. I will charge
It's too much for a man to take. Even men of
and
faith
capture
and courage
Sigismund instantly.
He will wake up in a ditch somewhere with a mighty hangover.
How'd you like a wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition. Recipes are passed on from father to son, and each generation brings them to perfection. Even the French royal court took note of my refined taste. The king himself had wine delivered for his table according to my advice.
I expect his lordship had the best barrels rolled.
Best, this wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary, where it would suffice for cleaning wounds and... Give me 100 knights in full...
Pecking to be eaten.
I couldn't resist it either.
You and
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. So, touching. Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly.
Well, maybe once. The older I get, the worse it is.
See now. Only there's nothing to drink.
Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh?
You can bet on it. I've got a note.
I don't doubt it.
So you keep saying.
Don't you understand?
Romania, under the table. Even the notorious.
Be quiet.
Keep going.
So you keep saying.
Keep going.
Goat. So we came here for the feast anyway.
Where are we supposed to keep watch and save the gate today?
I am not sure. Are we?
I have a feeling I forgot. I remember someone saying something about a gate.
Like I said, I think Mochek will find the whole affair quite somber. Poor bride, too.
Enemy with cavalry. Break through their lines and capture city soon.
And then you will wake up in a deep somewhere with a mic.
Do you get it, Father?
Please, call me Rabbi, Lord Cavan.
Oh, whatever.
But I'd rather run my own.
Why me?
You are to be married.
But I didn't ask for a wife. I wanted to prove that I was worthy of the name of my house, earn a reputation, travel the world, and maybe later, one day...
Then you might be dead, sir. Think about the future. You need an heir.
Sorry.
From cleaning up this pigsty?
I need help with something. Do you know, I mean the ones with the really good wine.
And you're one of those?
I should say so.
And I'm the king's daughter. Anyway, I don't know nothing about no... Try asking my mom. Jesus wept.
Greetings. Can't it wait till more?
Sorry,
What do you...
I haven't eaten...
He didn't have to choose me.
Wait.
It's been a long time since anyone has called me by that. I was afraid you'd forgotten me.
You haven't changed.
But I have. And you've changed too. You left... Not at all. The years have been...
And how have you been all this time?
Not really. When he remarried and had another son, his mood improved quite a bit. I also got married. And soon I had my little Elishka running around under my feet, and the young Sir Christopher used to come and play with her sometimes. He was always a very nice lad.
Tell me more.
She's a big girl now. She's a maid here.
Well, aren't you worried about her?
Even as a little girl, she used to beat up the boys in the...
And your husband?
Kuba. He died when Elishka was just a baby. He got bitten by...
God grant him. Where might I find the really...
Why? You don't like the stuff from the cake?
It's not for me. One of the...
Aha. If you go down the cellar stairs, you'll see the pit. It's Lord Odorin's best. He's drunk plenty of it in...
Telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I was telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful.
Everybody likes a drop of white. The rat'll be good, I hope.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rudart. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you feed it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of your fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
Jesus! The surrounding Christopher! Can't make it on his own! What's gone crazy? Send my greetings to them! Get him!
I'll have you
Jesus! The surrounded Christopher! He can't make it on his own! Jesus! The surrounded Christopher! He can't make it on his own!
That will work on me.
More coming! Brace yourself! Come on.
Go! Yeah! Go! Yeah!
Nice strike! Get the fun! There's more of them! Take that! Come and get another!
Show what you're made of!
No wonder you're still standing! You haven't a chance!
Get him! You led him on nicely! Shit! He's nearly got me!
Take that! Really like a stuck pig! Nice! Right. You got it! We'll kick your asses! Coming in! Take as many as you can with you! Burn in hell! Slice him up!
You're done here, Orson.
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Fuck me. Do my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Conrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Jobst long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but not everyone was so lucky.
What happened, Godwin?
Anna of Waldstein. She didn't stand a chance.
She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And they almost killed my brother.
But only almost. Good luck.
You have a brother?
He's upstairs in the hall. That old badger's not worth...
Old grievances aside, Odorin is an ally. The same as Rutard and Botchik.
Oh, they all have their quirks. Cousin Botchik's a money-grabbing magpie. But I won't give up on it.
We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway. We don't even know where Von...
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
He wanted Odorin. He probably...
I bet he couldn't believe his fucking luck.
And Sigismund will be moving at a gallop. We have to be really careful now.
Is there anything we can...
Definitely not right now. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth. That...
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. They could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall.
They're our allies.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible.
Anyway, we've got work to...
Give me a moment. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up...
Doing all work.
Good to see you.
Oh, come on. You know, I've walked out of much work.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that.
Well, they killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles.
It was... And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side.
We'll figure out a way to...
But how?
Get a grip. Wine...
You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, at Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn...
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want it? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Zizka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join. When Jobst finds out about this...
We should not come here.
You did.
Sam, I need to have a word with you.
Uh-huh. Just tell him.
What did you talk about?
We talked about your stepfather, Martin.
Why? Neither of you knew him.
It's true, I did not. But I tried many times. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized the Master's symbol engraved there. Well, the thing is, I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes, his son. That is, his bastard son.
Why are you even...
I thought you would want to know.
I know what it's like.
You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about it, now that I know, I will never see him.
I can tell you about him if you want. This is not the end. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved Xere.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a...
That is how...
Nonsense. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defend... And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. But we did not... We need to get back into this. Will you come with us?
I'll come.
Very well.
I'll be back.
Hurry up. Did I not tell you you should not come here?
You did. I still exist.
I feel quite hungry.
Thank God for small mercies. Otherwise,
the others, don't mourn.
How's the arse?
Still hurts like hell. But now I've got to stretch my muscles and fancy helping me. How about it?
And what would that be?
A technique for a truly
I haven't learned that one yet.
I'll teach you.
Show me how to...
Come with me. The floor is straight there. A good...
I'd like to learn...
You mad? This isn't the time.
Show me how to...
Aye, I'm coming.
Show me how to do...
Aye, I'm coming.
I'm as hungry as a wolf.
We have to take care of young Sir Christopher and hope his father comes back soon.
Yes. The best thing we can do is to keep doing our work.
What if the old lord doesn't come back?
Then we'll have a young one. He's not the little boy anymore. Soon he'll get married and
We can only hope.
What about your home? I don't know. I started bolting out the gate. Someone set his mane and tail on fire. Or maybe the crows are listening already. Sure. Handsome, young, dirty. Well, reasonable. Down three lights. I don't know. I saw him bolting out the gate. Someone set his mane and his tail on fire. Maybe he survived.
Maybe he'll come back.
Or maybe the crows are feasting on him already. One has been captured, the other all crushed.
What have they done that the Lord is punishing them like this?
God's punishment or not, brought it upon themselves. Watch. As greedy as a pig. Nevis. Well, leave it alone, the two of you. Now we're in it with them anyway. One fish have been captured, the other all crushed. What have they done? Punishing them like this. God's punishment or not.
can't swim.
We're in it with them anyway. Back soon. Could have come to a bad end.
Hey, you'd be surprised too. They were only going after Odorin.
Don't mourn just yet.
We can go.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here, I saw Sigismund horsemen and feared the worst.
Kubienka? What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, so I came to grab a bit of meat. And I see, instead of that, you have a massacre here.
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do something fast. We have to get to Kuttenberg. Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course. I borrowed it too, if you know...
Could you stop blabbering already? We don't have the time.
Easy, Ingele. And you, sir?
All right. But could you please tell...
I'll explain to you on the way.
Are you coming?
Of course.
Let's go.
Peresh, can we go any faster?
Settle down, son. If you must keep your tongue busy, then use it to pray.
Would you tell me what the fuck is going on already?
Sigismund ordered an attack on the Jewish quarter. We need to take all my papers and get the people out of there.
Bloody hell. I just got healed up so nicely today.
Oh, that is just great. My mother's life is in the hands of a drunkard.
Don't you worry. These are some sturdy hands. I promise we will save you, Ma. No one will touch a single hair on her beautiful hand.
What the hell are you babbling about?
What? Oh, I'm imagining she's pretty. It makes me more willing to put my neck on the line for her.
Stop with the nonsense already. All of you, I beg you.
Jesus. I was just trying to lighten the mood. We might all kick the bucket in a short while. Well, what about you, Henry? Why are you so quiet?
You should give it a try yourself. You might get a taste for it.
Fine then. Let's all sit here with our mouths shut for the entire trip, aye? Anyway, can't you make the horses go a little faster, Grandpa? If this carries on, somebody's going to start sobbing.
Samuel, what was the story with your mother and Martin?
Do you really want to talk about this right now?
It may be the last chance we get. We could both be dead in a while.
All right. But like I said, I never actually knew Martin. He once came to Kuttenberg and fell in love with my mother. But she is the daughter of a rabbi. Obviously, she could not marry a goy.
And tonight, you will see why.
If you want, Mummy will surely tell you more. If we can get there in time. What was he like? Martin.
He was a good man.
Seriously, whip those fucking horses.
All right. Schnell! Schnell!
What's the matter? Why are we stopping?
We will walk from here. We cannot drive right into those murderers' arms.
But how do we...
We will go through Shell.
There are many abandoned mine shafts under the town.
Won't it collapse on our heads?
We'll find out soon enough.
Follow me.
What a blessing it is to have found the passageway.
I would be happier if we could do without it.
We all would, lad. But it has been decided as punishment for our many sins.
Our sins? Ours? What the fuck did we do to these people?